motto at Harris City Technology College is all can achieve, and this is especially true of the 10% of students who are dyslexic. Every year these students gain between 70 and 80% 5 or more top GCSE passes. The school puts its success down to a well-equipped resource centre for students with dyslexia based within the school, and a dedicated Senko and specialist dyslexia teacher, Debbie Hart, who works closely with students outside the classroom, providing them with strategies to help support them back in the classroom. Many of Debbie's teaching methods can be employed in any mainstream school. This programme focuses on these strategies.
We make every effort to make sure that we identify all our dyslexic students. We have an ongoing screening programme. My assessment will initially look at what is their educational potential, how bright they are, and then we're comparing that with what is their reading ability, their accuracy, their fluency, their comprehension. Usually a good indicator of dyslexia is when the children appear to be very bright orally and can discuss things, are picking up information in classrooms, but then are having difficulty expressing that on paper. They might be struggling with their reading. They might have trouble trying to get information down in sequences on paper. Teachers should be looking for students that are having problems with organisation, those students who don't remember what it is they're supposed to be doing when you've just finished explaining to the class exactly what they're supposed to do.
The use of IT complements classroom-based teaching and learning and is a helpful tool for dyslexic students.
Multisensory learning means learning through a range of senses. This is very important for dyslexic students because they will have difficulties with learning through one or more of those senses. They might have visual perceptual problems, they might have auditory problems. So by appealing to all the senses, it makes it more memorable for them and they learn better. So I just talk it through the programme. We use a range of software to support our dyslexic students. IT is very important for them. Quite often they're very adept with computer usage, and also computers are non-judgmental, and you're able to produce something that looks as good as everybody else's work at the end of the day.
Inspirations is one of the programmes used by the school. It helps dyslexic children to sequence ideas and is one of many products available to teachers.
One of the problems that dyslexic students have is getting down on paper the information that they want because they have trouble trying to think about the way the ideas come out. Their ideas won't come out in a linear sequence. So by using this, they can brainstorm it onto the computer, then think afterwards what kind of sequence they want it to be in. And the programme also will put it into a bulleted form, and it will also help them then transfer it into a word processing package.
I'm just using this mind map to help me with my history. This entire thing is just a spider diagram of my ideas from Britain in 1750 to 1900. I've just got these little notes to help me. I can remember little things like the government was very powerful and enforced law. I find it helps me quite a lot because it's not all on one page and I can read these chunks and then I can remember it a bit more.
James is in Year 8. Like all the other dyslexic students, he visits Debbie once a week for some one-to-one support.
This school, actually, dyslexia isn't a disease to this school. They know how people like me struggle.
Another IT package used by Harris College is Units of Sound. It's one of many software options available on the market to help students with literacy skills, including reading, spelling, memory and dictation.
For example, you might have a couple of children, 2 or 3 children, all working on units of sound, but they could be working at different levels. There are 3 levels in the programme for reading, spelling, memory. dictation. Some of the children might be working at higher levels for their reading and lower levels for their spelling. They will be working on different aspects within that based upon what they already know and what they don't know.
Tug a rug. Path.
Dyslexia can affect the way that you speak. One of the problems that a number of dyslexic people have is with the pronunciation of multi-syllable words. Because they have problems with sequencing and short-term memory, quite often they mispronounce such words.
The unit of sound is
Right, say the
Say
sound.
that sound.
Good.
Spur.
Spur.
Cur.
Curb.
Curl.
Curl.
Right. Just check this one for me. What was this one?
Curl.
Curl.
Good. What was this one?
Cur.
Curb.
Good. Well done.
Has the frog gone?
Has the
Frog.
fog gone? Right.
Has Dad gone off on a job?
Has Dad gone off on a job?
Right, before you do that one, just listen to that one again for me.
Has Dad gone off on a job?
Okay. Okay. Now that's shown so many of red because at the beginning of the sentence, the first word was has, not have, and it's thrown out the rest of the sentence. Happy? Yep.
Dyslexic students are commonly mistaken for being lazy and careless.
The teacher will have a conversation with the child will be very articulate, come out with some amazing language, amazing descriptions, very colourful, very creative. They then ask the child to write it up, and of course the child isn't able to write in the same kind of language as it's able to speak. And so then of course they assume, oh, the child is lazy, they're not trying, they're not applying themselves. What actually they're doing is working really hard to find strategies and accommodations around spelling particular words or avoiding spelling words. So the children are often working 10 times harder, but appearing to be working less.
Often the focus is on students' problems and not their strengths. This can have a negative effect on their self-esteem.
He was very good at mathematics, mental arithmetic, but when it came down to a written question, he couldn't access that. So as a consequence, he got very frustrated and virtually gave up.
So if a child makes it to secondary school without being picked up on their dyslexia, what they may see is children who appear slightly disengaged, quite low confidence. And the danger is that whilst they're moving from classroom to classroom, teachers have a very minimum time to actually make a big difference. And so that self-confidence will just fall and fall unless it is actually truly picked up.
And it took until sort of virtually the end of his first year here to really gain self-confidence, self-esteem.
Yeah, I do think my confidence improved because at my primary school I just sit in the corner, basically don't say anything unless I'm talking to my friend, but here I'm more confident, put up my hand. If I get it wrong, I'll try again.
It was soon recognised that what was good practice for dyslexic students is excellent practice for everybody else. You will find teachers here incorporating a range of strategies and learning styles in all their lessons.
One of the main problems, I think, is confidence. James, for example, in my Year 8 class, he's quite shy, but I do think he's improved since September with me in terms of contributing to lessons and putting his hand up. And he can be quite enthusiastic, which I'm always really pleased with. Read out what you've written. Shh, James.
To get some rocks off the top of my roof.
OK, to get some rocks. I went on the roof to get some rocks from the top of the roof. We've already said that, haven't we? So I'll get some rocks from the top. Yeah. And then what? Because even orally, he's not very clear. and his enunciation isn't very clear. So sometimes I have problems understanding what he's saying, but obviously I have to react to it very carefully because I don't want to undermine his confidence in the fact he's volunteered in the first place. I think you have to learn to read for meaning and be selective in your marking in terms of not questioning every spelling if they're conveying a sense that they understand their task and they've made an effort to complete it.
There's one for you.
During their weekly sessions in the resource base, dyslexic students work through various targeted exercises with Debbie to improve aspects of their literacy skills.
Jump. Perhaps it might be a particular spelling that you're working on, or a particular group of letters within a spelling that we're looking at. So they're looking for families of words with the same spelling patterns. What is the difference between this word and the word you saw previously? There's a good clue. It's called a what?
Syllable.
It's a suffix.
It's a suffix.
Yes.
Debbie demonstrates a few simple tips that any teacher can use to make their classroom dyslexia friendly. Provide a list of key vocabulary for your subject and make sure key words are visibly displayed around the classroom. Do not give long lists of spelling words to learn. 2 or 3 are as much as a dyslexic student will manage, and it is better if they are related. Write assignments in homework planners yourself for students who struggle to make out their own handwriting, so they are able to read it when they get back home. A laminated timetable is useful for students to scribble notes on of important things to remember to bring in for lessons. Don't correct all mistakes in written work. It's too discouraging. Mark positively. More ticks for the good bits.
What we try to do as the students get older is to encourage them to bring their work to us when they need help, rather than saying to them, you must come and see me so many times a week. Also at that time, they're usually thinking about going on to university, and we sit and talk about the kinds of things that they're going to need.
I mean, I managed to get an A and a B for English GCSE, something which was completely impossible. I failed to get a level 3 in my year 6 SATs, but after doing 3 years at Harris, I managed to get to a level 7. At the moment, I'm looking for a university for September 2007. So the short term is to finish A-levels in maths, physics and distance learning psychology. And then hopefully I'd like to get on a course to study astrophysics at degree level, and hopefully eventually move on to Masters and PhD in astrophysics. In year 7 I wouldn't be able to stand here in front of this camera. I was a shy kid, I couldn't put my hand up, couldn't answer questions. Now I'm really outgoing in lessons. I've got friends which I didn't have before, and I really just developed as a person and through the help of the teaching methods here.